Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Do you have a hard time trusting others? Are you always getting into arguments with your partner? Do you find it difficult to control your emotions when you feel rejected? Have you ever thought about how your childhood might have affected the way you relate to others as an adult? Our childhood experiences shape us into who we are as adults, and those experiences have a profound impact on our beliefs, values, behaviors, and even our relationships. Psychologist and author of Childhood Disrupted, Adele Faber states that our childhood experiences account for 60% of who we are. What happens in our early years is so critical that if our needs are not met, we're more likely to struggle with mental health problems later in life. According to an article published by BetterHelp, trauma can refer to any situation that evokes an intense, overwhelming, and long-lasting sense of fear, anxiety, and stress. This may include physical, emotional, or psychological harm, injury, or threat. In short, trauma refers to any situation that evokes an intense, overwhelming, and long-lasting sense of fear, anxiety, and stress. Trauma isn't always a singular event like abuse or witnessing violence. Instead, it can be a period of time like growing up in a home where there was domestic violence or emotional neglect. Children rely on their parents and caregivers for their basic needs. So when those needs aren't met, it can cause serious consequences. According to Healthline, some of these consequences can follow children into adulthood. Let's take a look at how childhood trauma affects your relationships as an adult. 1. You have difficulty expressing your emotions. Have you ever thought about why you might find it hard to express your feelings? It's possible that your childhood could play a role here. Growing up with the inability to express oneself is often linked to childhood trauma. Because when you grow up in a traumatic environment, you learn to suppress your emotions in order to survive. For example, if your parents ignored you whenever you tried to talk to them about your feelings, you might learn to keep your feelings to yourself. Similarly, if your parents were abusive, they might have punished you for crying or being sad, which can make you afraid to express your true feelings. According to an article published by BetterHelp, this is called emotional repression, and it means setting aside your emotions to focus on other things. While it can be a useful coping mechanism in the short term, it can lead to negative consequences in both physical and mental health in the long run. 2. You struggle with low self-esteem. Another way that childhood trauma can affect your relationships as an adult is by causing you to struggle with low self-esteem. Your self-esteem is a culmination of the beliefs and values that you have about yourself based on the environment you grew up in. If you grew up feeling unloved or unwanted, you may carry those feelings into adulthood, believing that you don't deserve love or that you are not worthy of being loved. Additionally, if you were bullied or abused as a child, you may have internalized the messages that you were worthless or that something was wrong with you. These beliefs can then bleed into your relationships as an adult, causing you to have a difficult time trusting others or believing that you can be happy in a relationship. Number 3, you have trouble trusting others. Have you ever found it difficult to trust someone? Maybe you've had a friend who betrayed you or a partner who cheated on you. Betrayal can shake our sense of security and make it difficult to trust others. But did you know that your childhood could also affect your ability to trust others? As a kid, we depend on our parents and caregivers to meet our needs and keep us safe. When that doesn't happen, like if your parents were emotionally distant or if you experienced abuse or abandonment, it can make it difficult to trust others as an adult. According to an article published by Psychology Today, this is because negative experiences like these can leave us feeling vulnerable and afraid of being hurt again. As a result, we may struggle to open up to others or may find it difficult to feel comfortable with intimacy. Number 4, you avoid commitment. Is it difficult for you to commit to relationships? Perhaps you find it easy to start relationships but struggle to maintain them. If so, you're not alone. In fact, many people struggle with avoiding commitment, and it could be due to their childhood. According to an article published by BetterHelp, childhood trauma can teach you to avoid commitment. For example, if your parents were always breaking up and getting back together, you might think that relationships aren't stable or reliable. Similarly, if you were abandoned by a parent or caregiver at a young age, you may struggle to trust that someone will stay committed to you in the future. Ultimately, childhood trauma can make it difficult to feel secure and comfortable with commitment. Number 5, you have a hard time setting boundaries. Do you have a hard time saying no to others? Perhaps you always feel like you need to help others even if it makes you uncomfortable. Or maybe you feel like you can't turn down requests because people will get upset. These are all signs that you may struggle with setting boundaries, and it could be related to your childhood. According to an article published by Healthline, boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. They allow us to feel safe and secure while also giving us the freedom to make our own choices. However, when we grow up without clear boundaries, such as in an abusive or chaotic household, it can be difficult to learn how to set them. Without clear boundaries, we may not feel safe expressing our needs or may not feel comfortable asserting ourselves. We may also struggle to respect the boundaries of others. This can lead to unhealthy power dynamics in relationships and make it difficult to feel satisfied. Number 6, do you find yourself getting into a lot of arguments with your partner? Perhaps you feel like you can't even have a simple conversation with them without it turning into an argument. Don't worry, you're not alone. Many people struggle with communicating effectively with their partners, and it's often a common cause for couples therapy. According to an article published by BetterHelp, one of the reasons why you might always get into arguments with your partner is due to your childhood. If you grew up in a home where there was a lot of conflict, you may have learned to communicate in a combative way. This can include things like using aggressive language or making accusations instead of expressing your needs directly. Additionally, if you were neglected as a child, you may have learned to ignore your partner's needs or to avoid them altogether. Both of these communication styles can lead to frequent arguments and make it difficult to feel connected to your partner. Number 7, you have difficulty controlling your emotions. Did you know that your childhood could affect your ability to control your emotions as an adult? According to an article published by Healthline, emotional regulation refers to your ability to control your own emotional state. This includes both positive and negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, and happiness. When you have difficulty regulating your emotions, you may find yourself feeling overwhelmed or out of control. This can lead to impulsive behavior or difficulty making decisions. One reason you might struggle to control your emotions is due to childhood trauma. For example, if you grew up in a chaotic or unpredictable environment, you may have learned to be constantly on guard for danger. This can make it difficult to relax and let go, even when there is no real threat. Additionally, if you were abused or neglected as a child, you may have developed negative emotions that you don't know how to process. According to Healthline, this can lead to difficulty controlling your emotions as an adult. And number 8, you always feel rejected. Do you feel like you're always being rejected by others? Perhaps you have a hard time making friends or feel like people don't appreciate you. Whatever the case may be, it's important to remember that you're not alone and that there is help available. According to an article published by BetterHelp, one reason you might always feel rejected is due to your childhood. If you were neglected or rejected by your parents or caregivers, you may have come to believe that you are unworthy of love or attention. This can lead to feelings of insecurity and make it difficult to trust that others will accept you. Additionally, if you were abused as a child, you may have learned to expect rejection from others. For example, if your abuser told you that you were unworthy of love or that you deserved to be treated poorly, you may come to believe these messages and start seeing yourself through their eyes. We hope that this video has helped you gain insight into the ways that your childhood trauma may affect your relationships as an adult. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your loved ones and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more videos like this. As always, thanks for watching.